and brings it back to my local team. Now, my favorite team in the league is the Washington Redskins. That is my team. I grew up in Washington, D.C. Love the squad. Are they good? Do they love me back? Not recently. But what we have here is a lot of chat because the Redskins have the number 5 pick in this year's draft. And if you look at a lot of people's projections and boards, Marcus Mariota, the stellar quarterback from Oregon, will be probably available unless the Titans snatch him up with number 2. But it looks like it's going to go number 1 is Jameis Winston, and number 2 is a little more fuzzy. Nobody else really needs a quarterback until about number 5. And we've heard their GM, Bruce Allen, he's not their GM, he's their Vice President of Operations, but we have heard their GM, Scott McCloughan, we have heard Bruce Allen, their Vice President, and we've recently heard their head coach, John Gruden, come out and say that, yes, we will draft Marcus Mariota with number 5 if he is our highest-rated player on the board. Now, you can read into
higher-rated players right now.
Yeah, you can read into that a lot. So he's probably within the top 5 of their highest-rated, but if they rated him let's say they rated him number 6, there's no way they're going to pick him. And it could be that they're trying to bait another team saying, hey, you better trade with us, or we're going to take this guy that you want. So you can read a lot into it. But I think if they're not just trying to bait people and they're actually being serious that they're going to draft this player, it would be one of the most disastrous decisions that the Redskins have ever made. And they've made some pretty... Albert Hainsworth. Just remember Albert Hainsworth. Just remember that guy. Yeah.
You know what I think they've made worse? Well, player roster-wise, that's pretty bad. I think they've made worse decisions that have affected their roster.
Yeah. And now I'm not trying to say Marcus Mariota would be a bad player, because I don't think he will. But if you look at, there's some very, very striking similarities to a quarterback they currently have on the roster with Marcus Mariota. Well, you have a good runner. Marcus Mariota can run the ball pretty well. He's very fast. He likes to take off sometimes, and, he can get some yards on the ground with his legs. We have a guy named RG3 who could do that. He can still do it a little bit, but not quite like we used to. You have just won the Heisman Trophy.
Like the best runner at that position almost ever, you could say. His first year.
No, you couldn't say that.
I could say that.
All right,
you could jump over people's faces.
Okay.
He was a hurdler.
I'll give that to you. Yes, fine. He okay. I wouldn't say that. I would say Michael Vick was probably the best runner at that position ever, and then maybe Cam Newton. Cam Newton behind him, and then maybe
he was as fast, like at max speed. He did better because he lasted longer doing so.
Not much longer, but a lot. But okay, we're getting off topic. But so Marcus Mariota, the similarities, the running is one of them. Just won a Heisman, senior that just won a Heisman, coming off of a Heisman Trophy win, so that's pretty similar. They ran not exactly similar offenses, but pretty close to offenses, where the first read you make is usually open. In Baylor, RG3 had to say, that's my receiver. Oop, you're open, you're good to go. In Oregon, Marcus Mariota did pretty much the same thing. Didn't have to do many reads and progressions through his receivers. What's happening with RG3 right now? Him not being able to do the reads and progressions is really hampering him on finding people open downfield. It's killed his completion percentage. It has really put a damper on everything. Then his injuries from running too much have caused him to not be able to run as good when he does run. Now, I'm not saying Marcus Mariota is the same player, but I'm saying there are some striking similarities. So
that might be part of the appeal, though. Because remember, they had to, before to get RG3, they had to spend a lot to get that number 2 pick, to get RG3. This time, they're like, hey, we could just pick up someone that's very similar to RG3. We wouldn't have to change up our offense that much. We know how to work with someone like RG3, except for this guy.
But they don't know how to utilize somebody like RG3.
Well, they kind of do, but
no, they were 4-12 last year. All right, RG3 was healthy all year, almost all year. He did.
He was still slacking. He still had problems.
No,
and they
no,
went through
no.
3 different
They obviously
quarterbacks.
can't. And the year before that, they were 3-13. I mean,
Yes, and he was
not
definitely
well.
not 100%. They put him up after that first
All
year.
right, Brittany, you're gonna have to stop because you're not coming through at all. I'm sorry, you're really choppy right now. Sorry.
That's just your excuse.
Now you sound a little better, but you were really choppy there for a second. But no, they've proven that they don't know how to use them. I'm sorry, they've proven that it doesn't work. In fact, that is all
I'm not
they.
saying that they know how to completely use them, but they already have the offense
sound
set
a lot
up
better
around
now.
that idea.
Yeah.
So if they get someone else that they can just swap in, that they think, okay, well, we didn't. This guy isn't screwed up from a major injury a few times already.
That's like saying, okay, we got this square peg and a circle hole. Let's keep jamming this square peg into it. We've been trying it for the past couple of years, but we haven't succeeded. Let's bring in this other guy that he might be a little bit better at doing it. It's the same idea. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
I'd say it's more like we have this rundown car that's not working properly with this engine because we didn't take care of it right. So let's get the same engine, but that from someone else that hasn't been not had the oil changes yet, and then we'll put it in, and then we won't get the oil changes to it again. But maybe it'll last for a few years without those oil changes that we didn't give the other one too.
Okay, well, let us know what you think. Do you think it would be a good idea to get Mariota on the Redskins, or would it be disastrous? Hit us up, let us know. Comments down below. Of course, @What'sMyFace on Twitter, Google Plus and Facebook. Always good ways of getting a hold of us.